A very good morning to all. Myself, Narahari, Assistant Professor, Department of Pharmaceutics. Once Werner von Braun said, basic research is what I'm doing when I don't know what I'm doing. So research means formalized curiosity that creates new knowledge. Hearty welcome to all participants for webinar on how to select and carry out research project organized by Aditya Bangalore Institute of Pharmacy Education and Research, Bangalore. The resource person, Dr. R. Nagaraju, is a professor from Institute of Pharmaceutical Technology, Sri Padmavati Mahila Vishwavidyanilayam, Tirupati, Andhra Pradesh. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
I would make an attempt to give brief introduction about the guest speaker, though exhaustive in terms of his achievements. Dr. R. Nagaraju obtained B.Pharm, M.Pharm and PhD from College of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Manipal. Doctor started his career as a lecturer, Vishweshwarapura Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Bangalore in the year 1986. He joined as professor in Institute of Pharmaceutical Technology, Sri Padmavati Mahila Vishwavidyanilayam, Tirupati in 2004. He received Best Pharmacy Teacher Award by APTI in 2018. He is the recipient of State Best Teacher Award 2017 in the pharmacy sector by Government of Andhra Pradesh. He received National Best Teacher Award 2017 by CVS Krishnamurthy Charities, Tirupati. Has received Best Teaching Pharmacist Award 2017 by IPA Tirupati Local Branch. Professor Nagaraju received National Level Pharmacist Award 2017 in the category of Scientific and Innovative Research Award 2017 by Seemasandra Drug Dealers Association and Andhra Pradesh State Pharmacy Colleges Management Association. He has received Pharmaceutical Scientist of the Year Award 2017 by Andhra Pradesh Council for Science and Technology, Government of Andhra Pradesh. He is the recipient of Distinguished Alumna Award of Manipal College of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Manipal in 2005. He is the recipient of the Achiever of Year 2002 Award by ABIPER, Bangalore. He obtained grants of about 237 lakhs from DST, UGC and ACTE. He has been awarded with 2 patents in dental implants. He organized UGC-sponsored 3-week refresher course and national seminars. He has guided 38 students for M.Pharm and 7 PhD students. 8 students are still pursuing for PhD under his guidance. Dr. R. Nagaraju is R&D consultant to various organizations and a member of governing council of few educational institutions. He has published over 63 research papers in reputed national and international journals. He is on editorial board of few reputed journals. He is working as Dean Development at SPMVB, and he has held many administrative posts in SPMVB such as Head Director, Center for University Ranking, Deputy Director, Directorate of Distance Education, Chairperson of IAEC, etc. This seems to be an exhaustive achievement, speaker sir. So now I cordially request Dr. Nagaraju sir to begin the session, please.
Thank you, Dr. Narahari, for your nice introduction. I hope all the participants are listening. Most of them must be PG students and doctorate students and young faculty members. So when the Aditya College of Pharmacy, Dr. Vishwanath contacted me, and I selected this topic, that how to select and carry out a research problem. This is actually a big question to most of the young researchers who wanted to do project work as at UG level or PG level or doctorate level. So there is some systematic thought is required in this. It is not just like guide has told you something and you are going to do something, finally put a book and award. So that is not going to be a systematic way. By doing such way, you will not get any good publications. Your work is not appreciated. You will not, at the end of the day, you may not be able to learn anything. So I have in this my 45 minutes talk, what I have made around 15 steps how to go about systematically in selecting a research project as well as carrying out it. First, basically, I am a pharmaceutics professor. So probably my examples will be related to pharmaceutics. The other branch people, please get the understanding relevant to your field. You need to first thing is what you need to go, how did you go about? You need to select a broad research area. So what is going to be a broad research area? Say, for example, you are in pharmaceutics. What should be a broad research area at present? At present, you are doing your M.Pharm and you are registering for doctorate. When you are doing an M.Pharm, this is we can select a different one. When you are going to do the doctorate, that need to be different. Why so? Because the doctorate level, we are going to produce we are going to submit the thesis only after 4 to 5 years. So we should see that the work, what you are going now, should be even after 5 years, it is going to be advanced. So that is very important. For an B.Pharm, for an M.Pharm project, probably what is current thrust areas, you need to select it. So the current thrust area in pharmaceutics is nanotechnology, invariably what you are going to talk about. So the nanotechnology is the whole worldwide, people are working on it and we are going to go. So you select a research area focused on a particular work. That is, say for example, nanotechnology. Right. So what next you need to do about it? You want to work on nanotechnology, how to proceed. Then if you Google it, nanotechnology, you get thousands of papers. So it will be again confusing how we are going to go about. So what you need to do in the next step is you need to do an extensive survey of literature. So why we need to do the survey of literature? Like nowadays, Google, you have different online sources of doing the literature survey to just see how much of the work has been done in the whatever area you have selected. So that is very important before proceeding for your work. What you are going to do should not be outdated or repetition of the people who are already performed. So therefore, the survey of literature is going to be very, very important. For an M.Pharm student, usually I put the M.Pharm students almost 3 to 4 weeks on the literature survey. And then for doctorate students, almost 3 months we need to do. We are going to ask them to come out with the whatever the area they wanted to do, focus it and bring it all the literature want. So what a student, pursuer, researcher should do, they should actually understand and develop a theoretical background very well. There are some specializations, some research areas we may not be touching upon in your M.Pharm curriculum. So in such cases, you need to understand it, the advanced concept very well. Say for example, fast dissolving films. For example, nano sponges. So likewise, we have so many advanced research areas where we may not be focusing, we may not be giving the idea in your M.Pharm level. So in that case, the theoretical background is essential. So you need to understand the very well before coming to a professor. You need to come with some knowledge. Don't just leave everything to the professor. The professor will give some project and going to know. You need to, if I am going to talk on nano sponges, you should know what is a nano sponge, how these are prepared, what are various types of it, what are the various methods of it. All those things you are expected to acquire a knowledge in such a way that you will be able to discuss with your professor. Then by going through that excessive research, extensive research, survey of literature, you will be able to find out what are the areas where the work is not, so much of work has not been carried out. So those are called as loose ends or dark areas. So you should be successful in identifying in a particular selected area, what are the areas which are not being covered. So that should be your focus. So why it is not covered, why that is not explored. So that should be your research question. So that the whole purpose of doing the literature survey is that. So if somebody has done with a particular method and prepare the nano sponges with a particular method using a particular material, probably they may the research survey shows that different other methods are not being explored very much. So we can think of doing in other methods and how this is going to work out. All those things you need to remember. One very important thing: either the method should be new, whatever you are following, or the drug should be new. So if the method should be new, then any model drug is okay. So if you are altogether bringing out a new methodology, then you don't require to have altogether a new drug. You are going to test the efficacy of the method by a model drug, already established drug, or using the existing methods with a slight modifications, we can try it out with a new drug. So that is very, very important, because with the new drug, these things are not being carried out. So we need to give a topmost importance in the next step, that is a novelty. So what is a novelty? That is a new aspect. So that novelty should be given a top priority for that. Just it is not just like replacing with ethyl cellulose with the methyl cellulose, replacing component A to the B. That is not novel. We should really think of what actually we are going to do, a new aspects, new dimensions to the what project work you are thinking of. Then you need to, in that particular area, collect the full text articles and review articles. So you need to have at least 3 to 4 review articles in the area of research what you are going to talk about. And if it is the nanosponges, if it is any area, and we need to have that particular review articles, which gives you a thorough understanding of what actually the methods available, what actually the work has been carried out, what type of drugs already has been tested for it, and what is going to be the outcome of it. So those things will be very, very helpful when you are going to take out the full text articles. Then once you know very well that this is a particular area you are going to work, once you understand the concept of it, once you identify a particular area where we can proceed, where there is not much work has been done, then tentatively think of a title. So we need to think of a title in such a manner it is going to reflect what type of work you are actually doing it in your project. Then we need to prepare a protocol. It is this all bench work. So what is a protocol? How we are going to go about? Protocol contains usually the title of the project work and the methodology what you are going to follow and your objectives of the study and what is the probable outcome of this work. So that also you need to guess. You may be true or may not be. The outcome what you are expecting, sometimes you may not be able to get it, but you need to know what with what aim you are going to further going to do this particular work. Then with this background, you will be able to identify the problems. So 50% of the success lies in identifying the problem. So what if at all some problem you are identifying, then that is 50% of your work has been done. So and the solutions, whatever the possible solutions with the expertise of your guide and also your knowledge probably will address what you are going to do in the laboratory. And then based on this, you will develop the objectives of the work. What is going to be your main objectives? So here I want to introduce to you the concept or ideation. So this is a very, very, very important. You need to cannot change in between to one area to another area because the time is limited, and we need to see that again spending a lot of time and going to some other area, it is going to be very, very difficult. So I have given those people who are watching on laptops, probably there is no problem. Those who are watching on mobiles, probably you may be able more effort to read this. So here in the first work, what we wanted to do is we want to prepare and evaluate curcumin beta cyclodextrin complex. What is novel in that? Beta curcumin is very, very commonly used and very explored. In n number of papers are there, and it is explored very well. Then what else you can think of? Yeah, I was talking about the nanosponges, preparation and evaluation of nanosponges. This is also where you see the literature. Hundreds of articles has been work has been done in it. So what is going to be based on these two existing concepts? Why don't you think of loading the nanosponges with the curcumin cyclodextrin complex? So that is the new thing. That's what last my MPharm student and one of my PhD student has done it. We have got a very good response. We are about to patent this work shortly. So what I mean to say is the ideation of the work is going to be important. So what basically we have done here, we have taken a concept of beta-cyclodextrin curcumin. Why beta-cyclodextrin curcumin? All of you will appreciate the curcumin beta-cyclodextrin complex is more bioavailable, more soluble, and have good penetration compared to, and more stable. All the advantages are there. And then what is your loading of this is happening? We need to check for some activity. So the activity of curcumin have n number of activities, and it has been used for many purposes. One among the one important amongst them is the wound healing activity. So we thought of putting this concept of wound healing activity, which can be easily done in the laboratory. So this is how the ideation of the work you need to take it into further. If you just do simply prepare and evaluate curcumin beta-cyclodextrin, no novelty in that. If you try to prepare and evaluate nanosponges using different materials and different drugs, again no novelty in that. And putting into a new dosage form this particular material and seeing it, how it is going to act and how it is going to be beneficial compared to the plain drug and plain this thing. So that is going to be very important. So these ideation need to be explored for each and every project. So what you see on your screen, this was the work what we have done in 2019 recently, and this paper is already published in one of the good reputed journals by one communication they accepted already. I will send the link to this. It is on studies on formulation development in vitro and in vivo ex vivo characterization of ion activated ophthalmic in situ gel containing moxifloxacin nanoparticles. So what is novelty in this work? The novelty is not that nanoparticles. Nanoparticles are already there existing. Novelty is not the drug moxifloxacin. Moxifloxacin is existing in the market for a very long time. The novelty here is the preparation of ophthalmic in situ gels. So all of you know that in situ gels are having very good advantage over the conventional drugs. So what we wanted to do here, we wanted to, instead of loading a plain moxifloxacin, we prepared a nanoparticles of this and loaded into the what you call into the gels and evaluated thoroughly and compare with that of the plain moxifloxacin. So this is actually the novelty we try to incorporate. And then next work, again, it is on 2017. This is also published in a good journal. Preparation and optimization and in vitro characterization of gyprosidone nanocrystals. This is a nanocrystal nanotechnology here. All of you know nanocrystallization have the various advantages over the plain drugs. We have good penetration, good solubility, and good permeability, and so on. So we wanted to prepare gyprosidone. We found that gyprosidone, no one has attempted making a nanocrystals, and we prepared the nanocrystals and established the whole procedure, and we have characterized it by various methods of this. So therefore, the novelty has to be addressed. We need to also ideate properly and see that how the project work can be integrated so as to incorporate the new concepts, new aspects in the work what is being already which is going to be going to take it out. So coming to, as I said in the step number 7, you need to think of a title of the project. When you observe in the last 2 projects work I have given, if you recall that the basic thumb rule for any title is going to be, it should be as short as possible. It should convey everything, I mean, most of the things what you are going to present in the research work. So probably I have put for the same nanosponges and cyclodextrin complex various titles. I asked the students to write it down and come. In that, I will select the best. So these are the titles what they have brought. I just read out only 1 or 2. Formulation and characterization of curcumin cyclodextrin complex, loaded nanosponges, and effective drug delivery for wound healing activity. Likewise, different permutation combinations as we tried and bring out almost, she has brought almost 10 titles. Amongst that, I have selected 2. That is what you can see on your screen. That is the formulation, in vitro and in vivo characterization of nanosponges, loaded with curcumin beta-cyclodextrin inclusion complex. So we thought this one is okay, but the question was in vivo. people will get an doubt what in vivo activity we have done. So then we thought we'll include the whatever activity we are going to do. That is the what I should say, wound healing activity. That's why we finalized the second title, formulation, characterization, and evaluation of nanosponges loaded with curcumin cyclode exchange inclusion complex for wound healing. So what is the point I want to convey here is the title should reflect, it should not be very general in nature, it should be very, very specific. In contrast to this, for M-Form project and short projects, we have the PhD titles which are in general, because PhD is a 4 years of program, and where we don't know what project is going to work out, we don't know what drugs are going to be worked out, we don't know how it is going to go. So therefore, we try to give generally a area which can be looked into. So for example, you see, we want to work on cancer formulations, then we can be design and evaluation of anti-cancer formulations using biopolymers for colon traveling. So we are keeping open our options in PhD. So whichever area we are successful, probably we will be going in, venturing into that. So like then you see particle engineering by crystallization techniques for selected drugs. So actually, in all this, my students are working. Those things only I have projected here, and these first two or three people have completed. The fourth one is going on. So what's going to be the difference between the M-Form titles and PhD titles are the PhD titles same thing, but we will not specify the what you call basically what you are going to do specifically, because up to 1 year we will not be able to get a good picture what you are going to. And the last one I have titled, if you can see, I found some titles like this in some of the PhD or M-Form, which should not be like this. That's why I have put this. Resolution rate enhancement of drug A and drug B by cyclodextrin hydrophilic polymer complexation and formulation development of the drug B for fast dissolving tablets. So this itself is running into 2 to 3 lines. So you should try to avoid such type of titles. The titles should be crisp, able to explain what project you are going to do. And for PhD, it can be a little broader, because to accommodate the work. So what if at all you are not successful in particular aspect of it. So therefore, the title is going to play a very, very important role. And this title need to be given a lot of importance, and we need to proceed. Then we need to go for the preparation of the protocol. So what is a protocol? Protocol is a written document. Before going into the laboratory, we will write it down what we wanted to do in the laboratory. So that number one is going to be the aim. What should be the aim of the title is over? Now the aim. The aim of the present work is to prepare, evaluate, and optimize gyprosidone nanocrystals by anti-solvent precipitation technique to improve the dissolution rate, bioavailability, and therapeutic efficacy. See how I brought out the anti-solvent precipitation technique, because the anti-solvent, over the thorough research, we found that the anti-solvent precipitation technique was not explored for the drugs like gyprosidone, and for therefore we try to point out, we try to incorporate the specific object, specific aim. So it is not general. So why we need to make it nanocrystals? To improve the dissolution rate, bioavailability, thereby therapeutic efficacy. So the aim is very clear. You have now brought it to very clear aim and how to going to proceed out. So when you write, when you come into this level of writing, probably we should have done for M-Form almost 3 to 4 weeks, for PhD almost 3 months. They will be spending and bring out such a document where we are going to go. Then what should be your objectives? The objectives are going to be very clearly mentioned in the aim, to prepare the gyprosidone crystals by an anti-solvent precipitation technique. And we have used here 3:2 factorial design using design expert software 8 version. This is an M-Form project, and we have clearly wanted to do incorporate the factorial design aspect in this. So therefore, that will give some novelty and weightage for the work what you are going to. And then here we are going to be the surfactant concentration is very crucial in preparation of nanocrystals. So that is going to be very well addressed. So to select a suitable surfactant to achieve the smallest possible drug crystals. So that is again a very crucial step. So where we wanted to put it in the objectives. Then the next is to come to the optimization of the what polymer you are going to use and the polymer surfactant ratio. So what I mean to say is when you are writing this particular document, you are totally visualizing the how we are going to go do their work. It is something like a director of a film where he or she will have how the film is going to come at the end of the day. So that visualization is very, very important. So we cannot just venture it in a dark area and try to do something without any aim. And again, I place on records that we may not be successful many times at the end of the day. So that does not mean that research is not being done. Therefore, for M.Pharm students, we try to give the projects where the success rate is almost 100%, either with a basic experience or selection of those. Whereas for PhD projects, probably sometimes we may fail in doing it, achieving the objectives what is going to be. It's happened to us also, but there is nothing wrong in doing it. So, and then we need to optimize the formulation variables by using optimization techniques, what you are going to do, all those things you need to do. After preparation of the nanocrystals, it need to be evaluated. Nanocrystal itself, then for the shape, particle shape and surface morphology by scanning electron microscopy, and particle size, zeta potential by zeta sizer. We also should know drug excipient compatibility and by using all spectral techniques. So this is what the part we are going to preparation and evaluation. Finally, we have time only to do the in vitro dissolution studies. So we stop at in vitro dissolution studies. The continuation of this work is happening, and the current student is doing in vivo studies and optimizing some other parameters. So therefore, what I wanted you to focus upon is coming to and writing an objectives, a protocol is you require a thorough knowledge, and by that time you would have explored all possibilities of the do's and don'ts. So next, coming to important one is a plan of work. How we are going to plan. So that's what everybody has to do it. How it is going to be done, a stepwise plan. Usually we will ask the student to come with a plan. So usually the plan of work starts with literature survey. You need to know the drugs and excipients. The drugs and excipients procurement is a very, very important task, and many a times we will be spending 2 to 3 months to obtain a proper drug and excipients. And you have to carry out the study, pre-formulation study for the drug and excipients. And then, of course, the minor things like standard calibration curve and preparation and optimization, all that, and then evaluation, all that, and conduct the dissolution profiles. So this is what you are going to devise a plan to go about with the project work once it is decided. So the plan of work is going to be very, very important. So the planning is, again, if you do a proper planning, again, as I said, if you do a proper literature, identify the problem, 50% of the work has been done. If you properly do the work plan, again, 50% of the work, the 50% of the work, that is 25%, you are going to do. It cannot be like I will do this first, I will do next. No, you need to go in a sequential way in which you will be able to execute the project without waste of time. And as I said to you, the procurement of the excipients like different polymers, different other things are going to be very crucial in pharmaceutical research. And drugs, because many of the pharma industries may not like to share a few drug components, where it all go by the contacts of you and of course your guide, where to procure the chemicals and also the reputation of the college. So if we try to use those 3 angles, then probably you will be able to get the proper APIs and the proper polymers. And that's what we always tell the young people, including I include the faculty also who are pursuing the projects. When you go to the conferences and the seminars, try to have one-to-one interaction with the eminent people. Identify yourself in such a way that the person should remember you when he goes back. So probably that particular relationship will help you along. I'll give one small example here. When in Vizag conference, we met one particular person. I met one particular person who I don't know him, and my research candidate wanted some help from him. And when we were discussing across a cup of tea, when we said work what she is doing, he is very happy that he wanted to associate with our work. He wanted any help what you require, and we promised him to share our data with him after the completion of the work. So therefore, he really kept up his word, and he has donated to the candidate almost 3 lakh worth of the polymers. Right? Not only that, he used his good offices to get a good quantity of the drug, 50 grams of the drug. We have got it. So what I mean to say here is you need to develop a good communication, good contacts at college level, at your individual level, and how to get these things. It cannot be, people will not sell we will very liberally the polymers and APIs like that, even though few people are there around, but they are very expensive. So therefore, we also take into account of the equipment required. So as far as possible for MPharm students, what I advise is plan your research work with the equipment what is there in your laboratory. Don't think Aditya College is having sophisticated equipments and you can go to Aditya College and work next to college persons. It will be very difficult. So my professor used to tell me, if you have a dissolution apparatus and UV spectrophotometer, we can do PhD. So even that holds good. With the simple equipment, say for example, the spray dryer, we can do a lot of work. So therefore, it is very important that we need to think about all those things and before penning down your aims and objectives. Next, coming to the next step is the method development. So when we see the method development, we have in front of us two, analytical and formulation. So any research project, analytical method is very crucial. So for the people who are doing in pharmaceutics, try to use the analytical method or is already published. So don't try to venture in a new method because that is not your area. So you can take up the work which is already published and accordingly modify slightly so that to suit your requirement and go ahead. And the formulation is going to be your area. So formulation method development is going to be very, very crucial. So how to go about it? So how we are going to do it? We can follow the published work. We also, that is a published or known method, or improvise it. We can try to improvise the published work and also change some parameters in such a way that you will be able to get a good product. And many a times for MPharm students, we will try to do the third step. Then the next is going to be the most desired one is going to be the development of a new method. Development of a new method, usually for PhD people, we try to get that particular ambition. So therefore, those both the doctorate students and PG students, don't try to waste your time on developing the analytical method, which is not in your area. So therefore, you see that these methods, these guidelines will be followed and quickly validate this method, whether it is suiting your requirement or not, and go for minor modifications, right? The next stage should be, that's what the optimization and validation of the problems and problem solving. So what I want to convey in this step is when you come out with some problems and problem solving, you validate the method, validate each and every step so that the meaningful outcome is going to come. So when you are talking about the methodology should be a standard method of either preparation or evaluation. What is the meaning of standard method? It is published in standard textbooks, which is published in, approved by various pharmacopoeia in case, or which is which is going to be what do you call, UC care list or the international journals, the method should have been published. So we cannot just take out a method. Yes, in our laboratory, this method we have done. I am following this. No, unless until it's a new method and you prove its optimization validation, we will not be considered as a standard method. Maybe a new method which which can be qualified as a standard method when it is developed properly and optimized and validated all the problems. Then only that can be a new method, a standard method. So for postgraduate students, we don't really try to expect a new method from them. We ask them to try to do the standard methods of both preparations and evaluations, which is going to be done. So the student, yes, with all this background, with ammunition in his hands, the student have got everything now, and he or she goes to the laboratory and successfully implements that. And during implementation, we have many problems where all of you know, by doing a simple experiments, the experiments which we have done years together, when the students try to do in the laboratory, sometimes they will not get it. So when they follow a particular method available in the standard journals and standard institutions, sometimes we try to repeat, you will not be able to get it. So the first important, foremost important method, is whatever method you are going to adopt, first you validate it, follow same procedure and see whether are you getting the same results or not. So once going to your work is going to be easier. So when you go to your work, that's what I am talking about now. You face many challenges. I am not telling that is going to be very, very easy. It's all depends on your lab or the college where you are working, and to a larger extent, how a student is going to perceive it. It is very, very important. And like B.Pharm or diploma students, the staff member will not be overseeing or supervising your work. So they will be giving it to you, and it is your duty that you need to give a fair results. Don't manipulate anything. You try to give the whatever results you have got, and the trust is very important. That's what I tell first to my students is don't try to manipulate anything. If you have some negative results, show it to us. Then we will discuss what is wrong in that, how it is going to go about it. So therefore, you think that successfully you have completed the laboratory work, facing all the problems. The next comes is the step number 13, where majority of both PG students and doctoral students will have the lot of problem in this. That's what in my experience I have seen. So the documentation of the results. So we are very poor documentation. When I see the students, did you write whatever you had done yesterday? Yesterday, I know, I remember, sir, what I am doing, I have done. But after 1 week, you don't remember what you have done. So therefore, it is going to be very, very important that the raw data, we call it as a raw data. The raw data is important. For PhD student, the tenure is 4 years. How do you remember the first you have done in the first year? The smallest minute details, like how you do remember, you need to write it down, all those things. And that is where it go in a long way. So you need to see that the results, the results obtained, you need to document in a proper way and use the standard format for both the table and the graphical representation. And what is very important is record all the minute details. So when we see over our experience, when you try to continue some work already done by previous students, the next students will have some difficulty, even though clear procedure is there. But there are some minute details are missing. Say, for example, if at all the RPM is there, it has been stirred for 100 RPM. The students might have forgotten, or the guide also has oversight that not seen the how much time it is done. Okay, in the thesis book. Probably it is there in the observation, but thesis book it is not there. So when you perform next that same experiment, student will get out. I know 100 RPM, but how much time we need to serve? Even I don't remember. So what we usually try to do is call back the student and ask her to refer our observation book, or she remembers, yes sir, I have done it for 30 minutes and 1 hour. So those, I mean to say, those very minute details which may not appear so important to do at the point of time is going to be Very, very important. Record all the details, and that is constitute the raw data. Usually, when PhD Viva is there, MPharm Viva is there, we will ask them the raw data. Many a times, some good colleges like yours college may be there, but some majority of the some colleges they don't have a raw data. Then I say, how do you get this dissolution profile? Where is the backing table for that? What is the absorbance values? Did you do the calculation properly? So for all that, the answers are not there. So they may have done it, but they may not have recorded properly. So what I wanted to impress upon you is the minute recording documentation is very, very important. Then comes the more important one, that is statistics. We cannot just say that that is better, that is the dissolution of drug A is better than formulation A is better than formulation B. Now, how do you say it is better than formulation B? We need to apply the relevant statistics of a standard package. You need to go depending upon the data. We need to go either the student t-test or you have to go to ANOVA or F1 and F2, whatsoever the particular data is going to be. You require to apply that and see that how it is going to come. So these are going to be very, very important. And then in the slide, what has been shown here was Giprasidone nanocrystal, and we have adopted the method given by Lisha in 2014, the reference number is 16. So this is what we clearly mention how the work has been carried out, what modifications we have done it. So that is going to be very, very important. And then this is an example of how the optimization variables, factorial design, how do you record it? It is a standard format, and then we need to write the table, title, and then various components of the table where it has to be clearly explained. So this is a standard table where you need to know. And then this is a formulation table. At the end of the day, you get a formulation table, need to be very clear, and what is going to be the formulation you are prepared, and what is going to be your polymer and drugs composition and so on. So therefore, the following the documentation should be done using a standard format and standard graphical representations and applied relevant statistics. And this particular graph shows what is the dissolution profile in the what I should say of the two formulations, and then the graphical representation. So the graphical representation, usually what I try to tell to my students, after the table, immediately you give the graph so that it is going to be easier. So when you try to compare with the pure drug and the formulation, how we are going to compare? So we have compared this with F1 and F2. So it is going to be very significant whether it is going to be similar or not. And the table should contain the data and with plus or minus standard deviation if the number of trials are more than one. So once that results is going to be documentation is over, then how do you write a discussion part? So writing a discussion part is very crucial, and writing a discussion part is not explaining the results, right? Many a times the young researcher will not be able to discuss it. Discussion is different, explaining the results are different. So what should be the salient features in the discussion? That is one, critical evaluation of the findings of the research work. So what is the meaning of critical? We need to, without any bias, evaluate your findings. So when you use this particular Giprasidone nanocrystals, after doing the preparation, after evaluation, you have got some results with respect to particle size, with respect to Zetov potential, with respect to dissolution. So don't just only discuss the results, you need to evaluate the results. So when you do a particular parameter changing, or a process parameter, what is going to be this change? So when you obtain a particular result, compare the results of your work with that of the other people who are done in the similar area. And if somebody has given a particular statement and you are getting results similar as that, that means we can write it out. Yes, we have done this. We have got the same result of the so and so et al. We agree with the that particular researcher. Sometimes the results what you have got may not agree with the results of the other finding other people. So in that case, we should write disagree. When you write disagree, you should write what should be the probable reason for that. What could be why you are not getting the similar results as this. The reason can be the active pharmaceutical ingredient itself is the reason. The method of preparation may be different, and what do you call the process variables are going to be different. So all these things will lead it into a led into a different results altogether, even though the overall work is going to be similar. So that is going to be very, very important. So with that, you should be able to bring out the hypothesis and justification for whatsoever results you have got. So this discussion part, how do you be able to give the discussion part? Very good. So this skill can be obtained by constantly reading the paper of a similar work what has been done by the different researchers. And you should see how the researchers are discussing, what is the parameters, what they are focusing, how the things are going. So that will give you an idea about how the things can be applied to our work and explain our results in a better way. And we need to, the most important of result after this results, the discussion is going to be very, very important. Many a times, due to lack of time, especially with happening in M form, they just write the discussion of the results, whatever they got and finish and go. But when you try to write a paper, it becomes very difficult for us. So papers won't accept, good journals will not accept just discussing the results. We need to have the critical evaluation. We need to go for the compare the similar work and bring out the hypothesis and justification. So this is the very crucial points in the discussion part. And that will not end there, where we are only abruptly putting a break for the work, because research is endless. Things will go on years together, what do you call, decades together. So in the similar area. So whereas we need to give a future scope. You are always should, whatsoever you are doing, that is not the end of it. Is any possible extension, or some aspects you wanted to do, you could not do because of the lack of time, then that other aspects can be performed in this. So those things need to be very clearly identified and given. So based on this future scope of the work, the next project, usually we will decide. Sometimes we try to give the same project to the next student, so that the next student will continue from where the previous student has been stopped. It is not that that is going to be the full work. Nobody can do a complete work in that particular area, and there will be something which has been left to do before. So you need to give this particular also very, very important. So coming to, I was talking about the discussion part. No, just see here the present study of particle size of a all 9 formulation. The F7 has shown acceptable particle range around 300. The particle size was determined for all the prepared giprasidone nanocrystals. It was found that 64.5 to 510 nanometers as shown in the table. Next, see the line. Next, we have given the the authors will try to compare the particle size of the giprasidone nanocrystals prepared by these particular people by milling technique is in the range of 238.2. Giprasidone nanocrystals were prepared by the next scientists also with the reference number 59 to 65. But they have got a different particle size and they have obtained the milling technique. So this type of cross references are required in our discussion part, right? I hope you understand. So that is going to be here. The values are going to be different. You can analyze why these values are different and what is going to be the better method, what you're going to see. I was talking about the conclusion, isn't it? Just now, how you had to conclude everything in a very crisp manner. So how it can be concluded in 2 or 3 lines. I just read out. It can be concluded that giprasidone nanocrystals were successfully prepared by using anti-solvent precipitation method. All the characterization studies indicated that the formulation showed good percentage drug content, percentage yield, and drug dissolution, particle size, and obtained by DSC and FTIR. So this is in nutshell what is going to be. What can be the future scope for this? We will think about it. We are done only in vitro. So therefore, pharmacokinetic study in a suitable animal models to confirm the efficacy is essential. So that's what the next student is doing this. Apart from the regular project, I have given this work also to the next student. So the next student will continue this, and maybe a 1 week study or a 10-day study after the animals have come. And so therefore we can complete the work. And then first, very important, stability studies are to be done to establish the efficacy of these formulations. So the question comes, examiner will ask, why didn't you do the stability studies? The real reason is we have the thermolab stability chambers. It's costing around 3.5 lakhs when I purchased 5 years ago. So that is a very good model. But when last time when this girl was doing, there is some problem with the equipment, and that equipment was under repair. Now anyway, it is being repaired. So therefore, she could not do the stability studies. So and once you get the in vivo data, already we have generated in vitro data. We can perform the in vitro and in vivo correlation study to establish the further guarantee of the efficacy of the product. So this can be efficacy and the bioavailability of the formulation. This can be the future scope. All this constitutes the next work for how we are going to proceed, right? I immensely thank all of you for your patient listening, and also Professor Vishwanath, Professor Sucharita, and other team of Aditya College of Pharmacy for inviting me to talk, share a few things on what research projects and so on. And now it is over to, if any question answers are there, I don't know how to give the answers back. I think Dr.
Thank you so
Narahari will
much,
be
sir.
able to tell you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words, and the session was very helpful to all the students as well as the faculty. You have taken many examples of many projects with in detail explanation of the method of research stepwise. I think it would be helpful to many of the faculty as well as to the passing out final year students and informed students as well. So we have some questions. Can we have some questions to be taken, sir?
Why not? Please proceed.
So one of the student wants to know what are the small projects that could be taken up for MPharm since I think now it's a lockdown period. So what are in selection of such projects? What is the criteria that is to be taken into consideration?
Yeah, very good question. We are also undergoing this problem. So in the COVID time, what we have already 50% of the work must be over in most of the colleges. And at this time of it, if the students are already started this work, try to end in the same how much ever you have done it. That is one way, and write logically and go for it. And if you want to do something which is going to be finished in the laboratory for 1 week to 10 days time, you can take up some survey type of work, or also laboratory work based upon the previous students' experience, like how I was talking about in my previous slide. No, you can take up if your guide is having some pharmacokinetic, already everything is been done, some work is left out. So that particular work you can take it and complete it. But this is going to be a very big question depending upon what specialization you are, how we are going to. But otherwise, the survey type is good. You can take up some survey type of work, and you can take up some work which is already undergoing in our laboratory, in our guide, and complete it in some aspects, or altogether take up some logical work. Say, for example, I can still tell you, pharmaceutical students, collect around 10 to 15 samples of a particular drug, a brand of some particular drug, and carry out the dissolution study. The dissolution study will take up only 1 week or 10 days. Then compare the dissolution profiles of the drugs and go for statistics, apply for what do you call F1 and F2, and bring out the drug which is having the better solubility and bioavailability. Such simple projects can be chosen to go ahead with in the difficult COVID times.
So we have one more question. Is it not wrong in copying the method of some other project? If at all a part of it has to be taken, and can that be extended? A prior approval has to be taken from the person who has conducted the project, or method, if it is general in case, can that be taken into consideration and taken as a small project?
Yeah, very good question again. So it definitely is not a wrong. When you're taking somebody who has already done this project work, method has been established. You can take it in my previous slides. I have show you now the gyprosidone crystallization method. We have taken from one particular journal, and where we are going to do, you need to give a due credit that this method has been published by so and so, and we are using the same method. And there is no need to take any permission from them. And also, if it is patented, then the question is different. So the patented formulation definitely will not appear in the journals. I hope I answered this question.
So can we take two more questions? Are there? Can we take?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. So one Mr. Anguraj Mauli Shankar wants to know: can we publish negative results in journals?
Why not? Why not? Why not? We can always publish, and I also got few journals where you don't get the positive results. We can always publish negative results also. And actually, I am on the board of many journals, including various reputed journals. I encourage, in fact, the negative things. You can do it. No problem.
Okay. And I think this is the last question, I believe. Sheikh Zufi Shan wants to know what's the scope of green synthesis in nanoparticles, and whether those particles will be stable if it is done, and any synergistic effects can be seen, if at all.
What is the meaning of green synthesis in nanoparticles?
Yeah, green synthesis in nanoparticles, whether those particles will be stable if it is made as nano.
I didn't understand how green synthesis can be done in nanoparticles anyway.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I cannot answer this question, because green synthesis is basically synthesis of many drugs, which we are going to adopt the environmental friendly solvents and chemicals. So I really don't know how to put the green synthesis in development of nanoparticles. No idea.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much, sir. I think it was a very, very valuable session. I believe all the faculty as well as the students have benefited from this session. So thank you so much for this wonderful thought-provoking session. We, on behalf of ABIPER, express wholehearted appreciation for your good session, sir. I would offer my sincere gratitude to our Honorable Chairman, Dr. Vishwanath, sir, for continuous motivation and guidance, and also for introducing such an eminent speaker. Also, regards to the convener, Mrs. Suchitra ma'am, for the efforts in organizing this webinar. My warmth to all the departments concerned in ABIPER for their constant support. I thank all the participants for patient listening and active participation as well. Hope that the inputs provided by Professor shall guide us in right selection of research projects and solution to research problems as well. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All the best to all the students.
Namaste.
And the researchers. Namaste.
Can we end the session, sir?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.